What's going on, crime fighters? Welcome back to the latest episode, and I'm so thankful that you guys can join me. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I'm not really mic connected. I'm kind of going off, ringing it here. Let's see, can you hear me good? I'm testing it. Ba-da-da-ba-da. What's going on, crime fighters? Okay, y'all can hear me pretty good. What's going on, guys? How y'all been? How y'all doing? What's happening? How are y'all? Hope y'all doing all right. Again, like I said, thank you for joining me. I am Vengeance. I am the Knight. And today, we're doing something very near and dear to my heart, something very special. As you guys know, I am quite a fan and also good friends of Matt Lane Fitness. And of course, he joins a weekly segment called My Friend Watches with Holden Hartman. Both links to the channels will be in the description box below on repost, so you guys can go follow them. But today, like I said, I usually don't do reactions to, the videos like that. I've done one for the Black Panther, of course. And now they're covering one of my all-time favorite movies. Like, I am literally obsessed with this film. And they're doing Jojo Rabbit. And oh, sorry. Duh, speaking of Black Panther. Y'all know who that is. Say what's up, Chala. He says what's up. How y'all doing? But yeah, so they're covering Jojo Rabbit. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Such a beautiful movie, such an important and beautiful message, an emotional message at its core, that I just know Matt will have, a great response to. Holden, he's a little harder to read. It's kind of just stoic and just, all right. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Can y'all see my screen? I'm trying to add to the stream. Motherfreaker. All right. Let's blow this business up. Let's see. You're doing all right. Yes, T'Challa Bear is chilling. And if I'm looking at my phone, it's because I'm reading the messages in the chat, since I can't see it since I'm in this view and mode, It's not supposed to be that small. It's supposed to be bigger. Hold on. Which view do you guys prefer? That full screen or more of me? I know it sounds crazy, but which view? Big or small? I know it sounds crazy, but the full? So you want me small and the screen full? That sounds crazy. Okay. Gotcha. The people have spoken. So full it shall be. All right. Y'all ready? Here we go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Holden Hartman, and thank you so much for joining us again for another video, where today my good friend Matt watches Jojo Rabbit for the first time. This one has been highly requested, so we wanted to make sure that we did it before we got into the next series. I know very little about this, with the exception that Taika Waititi directed it. Taika Waititi did Thor Ragnarok. He also did that episode of The Mandalorian that you really like. Oh yeah, he was Korg in Infinity War and Endgame. The little I know about this is that I don't know why it's acting lagging weird. Germany. Taika Waititi directs and stars. Did he write it as well? He also wrote it. He plays like Hitler, or like a kid's version of Hitler. Jeremy, I think, is the only one of us that has actually seen it so far. Without spoiling anything, I mean, do you think that we'll all enjoy it? Do you think I'll enjoy it? Do you think Matt will enjoy it? I hear it's funny. Is that true?
It's fantastic. It is a dramatic comedy, I guess.
Hold on. Maybe I have too many things open. Let's cancel some motherfuckers out, because this is moving A little too slow for my liking, and it doesn't usually do that. So we're going to see what it's doing. Okay. Perfecto. Okay. Let's see how you do.
You could say it's a dramedy. You might fact check me on whether or not Taika Waititi actually wrote it, because I know it's based on an actual book.
He did, sir.
Taika Waititi's fingerprint is all over
And
it. It's
won an Oscar
good
for it.
cast. It's a really fun movie, so I'm looking forward to you guys seeing it. I had no idea you hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Nice.
A fan of the channel actually sent me a copy of the movie for free to watch.
Yet Jenna and I just bought it on Amazon Prime. Rad.
No, I'll Venmo you. I'm sorry about that. Appreciate it. Purposely holding off watching it to watch it in the series. I know that it's my friend watches for the first time, but I also like to enjoy watching things the first time together as well.
Yes. Emotions.
You should be here right when we get started. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, they didn't get expectations?
10 years older. I swear to devote all my energies and my strength to the savior of our country, Adolf Hitler. Help me, God.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, you're ready.
You're ready.
But you're still the bestest, most loyal little Nazi I've ever met.
I wonder how they're going to handle the...
Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Have a great day! Heil Hitler! You're going to be the best! Heil Hitler!
Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler!
Heil Hitler, guys!
Oh, I love this movie.
Kill! You are a coward, just like your father. People used to say a lot of nasty things about me. Oh, look at that psycho. He's going to get us all killed.
Shit.
Don't do that.
Is it dangerous?
Extremely.
I love her in this. What's happening? Oh. Ads.
I do want to understand
more ads.
how we build a meaningful relationship.
So how y'all doing?
Instead of getting people to search for online surveys,
Skip.
oh,
Matt, what are you chowing down on? Are you having your dry oatmeal again?
What did they do?
What they could.
but they could.
Good pastor.
Don't make me run, kids. I'm far too hungry, and you know how much we love the taste of blood. You're not a ghost, Johannes. I'm something worse, but I think you already know that, don't you? A Jew. Gesundheit.
Oh, like a little female Jewish.
It's starting.
And now she's got your fancy knife.
It's starting. The feels.
How
Just
dare
wait,
you,
brother.
Jew? I am born of Aryan ancestry. My blood is the color of a pure red rose. Break free. I am descended from those who wrestle angels and kill giants. We were chosen by God. Stronger race, huh?
Make her feel safe, and then she'll drop her guard, and then you will be the one in control.
I wouldn't expect you
Don't
to
give it any
understand.
more knives.
If my father were here, he'd get it.
Well, he's not.
He's probably
I'm
gonna feel
stuck
this
with you.
You want
with the dad part.
Yeah, I
Watch
do.
for his face.
Yeah. 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 Fine.
Don't you ever talk to your mother like that.
Paul,
I yelled at the kid.
what? Go apologize.
I'm out there trying to make a difference
Not
in
the
the
reaction
world.
I expected.
And while I'm gone, I need you to take care of my Rosie.
like you to draw a picture where Jews live, where you all eat, sleep, and where the Queen Jew lives.
He's so
next.
brilliant in this performance.
You really are an idiot. You turn your back on
The
Germany
nomination was
forever.
amazing.
You turned on me first. Well, we don't need Beethoven,
Deserved.
Einstein, Bach, Gershwin, Brahms, Houdini. No, that's impossible.
Love is the strongest thing in the world.
I think you find that metal is the strongest thing in the world. Put it closely by dynamite.
Life is a
The
gift.
one part
We
I'm
must
dying to
celebrate
know
it.
how he's gonna react.
To dance, to show God we are grateful.
You guys know that part.
Hitler. Now this is my kind of little boy's bedroom. Oh, yes. There he is. Your friends may have put a rumor that you must always carry your DJ knife. Where is
He has 3.
It's here. And his sister, Inga.
There's no need to attack his hideous physical deformity. His war wound. Date of birth.
1st of May, 1929.
Correct. Thank you, Inga. Get a new photo. You look like a ghost in this one.
She was born on the
7th.
7th, not the 1st. He was helping us. She doesn't seem like a bad person.
You call yourself a patriot? Yet where is the evidence? It is up to you to decide if you want to be remembered or disappear without a trace.
Insignificance. Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Oh!
That's why they kept focusing on her shoes. The letter thing that she dropped off.
Oh, and then the next part. Oh, they didn't show it. Oh, I thought they were gonna show the knife. Oh, that part hits me so hard, man. When he confronts her in the room,
What's the
he
first
tries to
thing
stab
you
her.
do?
Oh my
Sleep?
god.
Dance.
See that American there? Just go give him a hug. Go run!
Oh my god.
Oh, I want to watch this movie now.
Now go and look after that sister of yours.
Get away, Chu. Hey, get away!
What's going on?
I know it's definitely not a good time to be a Nazi. Jojo, who won the war? Somebody won the war. Jojo Betzler. 10.5 years old.
Today, let's do what you can.
Oh, dude.
Is it dangerous out there?
Extremely.
Extremely.
Like I said. Okay. I probably deserve that.
Probably deserve this.
So we just finished watching Jojo Rabbit.
Yes.
I figured we'd come out here. We were all naturally coming outside anyway. And I'm like, well, you know what? Why don't we just film the post reaction?
Look at that, I like the little-
I have a lot of interesting
little
feelings about
mosh.
this. It's very Taika Waititi, very funny, very serious. A lot of different things happening at once. Jeremy, you're the only one that saw this before us. So what were your thoughts? I guess when you first saw it and watching it again, and I'm still processing how to just take this movie. So how do you take it?
Taika Waititi in this particular movie, he really plays on the emotional stuff as well as the
Yeah.
dramatic stuff. Hunt for
There's a
Wilder People
perfect
is very
balance.
similar tonally, and while I love it, I think it's one of the best movies that came out that year. I don't know that sometimes that the humor doesn't kind of undermine the drama and vice versa. That said, I love Scarlett Johansson in this movie. I think she
Love
is
it.
wonderful. She's
Amazing.
just so charismatic and likable instantly. Jojo and his relationship with his friend is super touching. I really think
Good
it
for
touches
you,
on some
Jojo.
really important
A
themes.
girlfriend.
Look at bigotry in any form, whether it be just any sort of oppression of people. And I think it really does a lot to even humanize these blind nationalists, right? You always look at Nazis as being just straight up villains. And I think this movie did a service, especially to Jojo, is showing that like they were indoctrinated from a young age, and I think it just kind of shows the dangers of blind allegiance to an ideology, especially at the end when, well, we won't get into all that, but you know how it ended. But I feel like it's a really sweet movie. The humor is really funny. Taika Waititi as Hitler is super funny in parts, but I feel like his humor is a little broad and a little slapsticky at times. So it's a mixed bag. I definitely come down on the positive side of it.
What about you, Pastor? How did you process this movie?
So I walked by Walmart and Target and all these stores several times, and I saw the movie.
Interesting start.
Heard people talking about it, knew nothing about it. Totally judged it by its cover. I was like, to me, it felt like it was almost like a Christopher Robin kind of a movie with the title. I was like, I don't know what this is about. I have no idea what this is about. Maybe I'll skip it. But everyone was talking about it. You guys requested it several times. I'm glad I went into it not seeing the trailer, not reading about it. Had no idea. When I saw Hitler, I was like, what are we watching? That really helped me take in the movie and not go in with any expectations, which I learned recently with New Mutants and now with this movie. That's the best way for me to go into movies. I always go in expecting something, and that's probably the wrong
Never do that.
So real quick, I thought the cinematography from a cameraman's perspective was incredible. I've learned so many different techniques and ways to sell scenes and stuff just from watching this movie. And that was the very first note I made because it was so impactful for me. Hitler in the beginning, especially with his uniform being all like tight and everything, was what Jojo thought he needed to be. And I liked how that kind of ebbed and flowed. And as Jojo was more confused, Hitler's outfit became more disheveled, and he was so insecure and asked, is it too much, like the pants and stuff at times, because it was the representation of like Jojo being confused as to what he was raised and, to believe and what he thought he should do. The Jewish girl, there was a scene where she had the knife after, I forget what happened, that made her sad, and she had Jojo's knife in the privacy of her little hutch, and I took it like maybe she's contemplating suicide with it, because why not? And I thought that was, an emotional scene with no dialogue. Jojo's relationship with his mother was very interesting because it was more like a friend. She was teasing him and like calling him names and stuff, but I never felt like she was being a bad mother, and that was all in the writing and in the acting. As Jeremy said, Scarlett was just amazing in this movie. My last point that was the biggest for me was the movie shows racism, how it survives through time, brainwashing the youth of whatever country. And it also shows how the human mind can understand even through dictatorship, because you're told to think a certain way. But if you are quiet and you listen to your own mind, then you come to your own conclusions. And that's what we all should do.
Damn, add it up. Damn, Stadia,
satisfying enough for a bear, clean enough to be naked, bare naked, to feed your bear.
I like how each character really had their own theme. Like whenever Hitler was on screen, he had his own, like you felt a different emotion with each character. Like Elsa had her own feeling. It was almost like there were several storylines going on at the same time. Like you always felt almost the same.
It almost looks like my backyard in Atlanta.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. I'm really interested in the green theme. I don't know that we really figured that out. If it was really just like a representation of like a happy memory for Jojo or like life or something. But there's a lot of vivid greens that we realized in the very important scenes. I'm not sure how I felt about Hitler being like this goofy character, but I didn't hate it. I'm curious what other people think about that. I really like Jojo. I felt his emotions. I liked how he absorbed his character arc of hating Jews to realizing that he was kind of brainwashed and that people are people.
And Matt, what about you? How did you process this movie?
So, as I normally do, I take something that should be funny and over-dramatize it and try to pull out a lot of value. I'm actually really happy that this movie went in that direction. You could feel it playing into the humor in the very beginning. Like, it grabbed me in the very, very beginning. It had me laughing really hard. And then it slowly went into this, like, serious tone and then going back. So I understand what y'all were saying about, like, maybe the tonal shift was kind of throwing it off. I liked it. It worked. My gripe about this movie was in the middle, it did sort of drag a little bit. It kind of slowed a little bit, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, nope, I don't like this movie. Before anyone says anything about us, glorifying a movie about Nazis or anything like that, like just like Jojo Rabbit, I feel like you have the decision. You have the ability to make the decision to go either way. And I love that so much with the character that, like Pastor said, he was indoctrinated into this as a child, and all these kids were. And, it gives you sort of some empathy and understanding like what these children came up understanding. And so it was so foreign for me to hear, but to know that that was someone's upbringing is just It's crazy to me. The burning of the books was the tonal shift for me. Right then, I was like, okay, this is something serious. And I really started feeling it for those kids, because in the very beginning, it's like slapstick. I thought the whole movie was just going to be funny the whole time. So again, I love that they took that shift. Ultimately, this movie as a whole, what it really says is hate is taught. And it's not just with Nazis, it's not just with Jewish, it's not black, it's not white, it's not yellow. It's hate is taught. If you hate anyone, that was taught, and you have the ability to unlearn that. And I love that so much. The dynamic between Jojo and his friend Yorkie, so good. I could watch a full-blown movie with those two. So good. Scarlett was fantastic playing the role as dad and mom in that same scene. That had me leaning in. I'm not a ghost, I'm something worse. When she said that, I was like, oh my God, like they really made you feel the emotions of these characters. It was fantastic acting and just really, really well done. There was a bygone gem in this. There really was. The last, after the credits, what was the whole thing that was said?
Let everything happen to you. Beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final.
Just so good. And to me, that whole thing is wrapped up in no feeling is final. That tied in with like your decision of hate. I love the whole thing.
We're taking a quick step from outside because we were leaving, and Jeremy said a really good point I meant to bring up as well, so I'm going to let him say it. Okay.
Why can't these videos be like an hour and a half long, Holden? I mean, geez, you're editing them. No, this movie just has so many strong moments in it. And one of the things that we were talking about afterwards, there's one particular scene where Jojo is just kind of convincing or trying to tell the Jewish
Matt showing his titties off in the back
that Aryans are superior and like all these ways and 10 times more civilized than the Jews are. And she grabs him and wraps him up and just kind of holds him there. And she says, oh, dude, I can't think of all of the different things. Do you know what it was?
She's like, we wrestled angels. We were chosen by God. I forgot the last point, but we were wrestled by angels. We slayed giants. We were chosen by God. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just like such a powerful scene. And it just reinforces this idea that like whatever preconceived ideas that we have, exposure therapy is like the best remedy for that. You think that you know people by these kind of reputations.
This is why I wanted to see this movie.
That you have about them. Again, kind of like what you said, Holden. You can apply it to any different group of people, but then you spend some time with said group and you realize like we're all human. We all have the same wants and needs. And I think that's a really strong message.
The way that I'm processing it kind of felt like
Jeremy.
Nacho Libre, Napoleon Dynamite feeling almost. The way it was shot, the way they had the music.
I can see that.
I really enjoyed that. The way that I took Taika being Hitler was almost disrespectful to Hitler, which is a good thing. You know, it's being absurd with it. Like y'all have said, I love Scarlett Johansson in the movie. I think it's one of her best performances that I've seen in recent years anyway. I love Yorkie. He was just hilarious the whole time. It's really showing like from a child's perspective, like you said, being taught how to hate and how they process it as kids. Anytime that somebody tries to make a blatant statement about a group of people and says this entire group of people is one thing or is another thing, that should set off an alarm in your head. There was this thing throughout the movie of the shoes, of Scarlett Johansson's shoes, him learning how to tie his shoes. And at the very end, she had shoes on and he knelt down and tied them. There's a story in the Bible where Jesus washed the feet of the disciples. They were very much like, we're not cool with this. Like, we're supposed to be washing your feet. You're the Son of God. You're the Messiah or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm going to wash your feet. It represents this humility. And when you have the kid who's this Nazi the whole time and wants to be a Nazi and hates Jews, to end the movie with him tying the shoes of a Jew, I thought that was very well done. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I really enjoyed that.
I don't know if that was intentional or not either, but it's a beautiful point.
Stadia streams games directly from Google Stadia.
Goddamn Stadia.
The longer you're subscribed to Stadia Pro and the
little thing. Overall, I'm still processing it. It might take another watch. I really, really enjoyed it upon first watching. Right now, I would give it probably about an 8.5 out of 10.
So, the world's a scary place. And I really like in the beginning when Jojo asked his mother, is it dangerous outside? And she says, absolutely. And that's a callback at the very end. It's kind of this life-affirming thing. Is like, yeah, we don't know what kind of dangers the world's going to present to us, but we just have to go out and embrace it, you know? And I
now
think that's
he has to be this caretaker.
Message. Shout out to Sam Rockwell. He is so good in this movie. And it doesn't have to spell stuff out for you. There's so many references, so many in-jokes, so many things that you pick up through characters that never has to be addressed in the script for you to understand what's going on. And I really thought that was a bold performance. And I like, again, this humanization and this other element of Nazis.
being a gay
in
Nazis
comedy,
general.
the rule is you don't punch down, right? Well, Nazis always suck. There's nobody that doesn't think Nazis suck. So I like the way that it kind of parallels things that are going on in the
sad that I
world
can't
right
say
now
that.
with what happened back in World War II. Also, similar to Blazing
Tons
Saddles,
of people that
this
don't.
movie, like Holden said, it really leans into the. It shows the ignorance and the stupidity of these characters. It's by no means letting Nazis off the hook, right? Like it's very much saying like these people had crazy ideas and they were programmed to. And I think it's a really good movie. Similar to Holden, I feel like it's in the higher tier of movies that I've rated, and I would say an 8 out of 10 is about where I put it. I think it's a fantastic movie.
Going off of what Jeremy said, I really liked the self-awareness that Hitler was this Nazi, and obviously in the movie he was, Hitler, but he was like silly almost, and it was basically Jojo's representation of him. I thought that was the best way to incorporate Hitler in that, the bullet wound in the end and everything. But this movie, upon first watch, I really liked it. I liked it enough that I'm gonna go pick it up. I'm not even considering it. I'm gonna pick it up. I want to watch it with my wife. I don't think she's seen it yet. But with all that said, upon first watch, I would give it a strong 8.5. I wouldn't give it a 9 because it was the first time watching it, but it was a strong message enough for me to warrant an 8.5. It's a little bit better than an 8 for me.
I failed to mention Captain K and his stripping off Jojo's jacket and pushing him and calling him a Jew. I thought that was so great. And just standing here listening to you guys talk about misconceptions, it's made me realize, I think all of us really feel like Nazis are these horrible people. How could you? And it kind of flips the script of humanizing a 10-year-old boy who grows up wanting to be a Nazi and understanding how he could idolize somebody. In his mind, Hitler was this goofy, lovable idol of his. It kind of, to me, I'm just sitting here thinking it just flipped the script of understanding that person who wanted to be a Nazi and understanding that it was indoctrinated. I don't know that I'd really watch this again, but it was a good movie. It brought up a lot of good points. I really enjoyed these conversations afterwards because it really makes me think of things that I wouldn't have thought of on my own. I'll give it a 7.5.
We all like to think that if we were alive in the 50s and 60s, we wouldn't have been racist. We have the benefit of time and knowing better now. I wouldn't have been racist in the 60s, or if I was there in 1940s, I would have absolutely hid Jews in the house. I would have done the right thing. But the truth is, this stuff still happens today. You just exchange Jew for something else. We won't get into all the politics of it, but it's still happening today. Make sure you're on the right side of history. Matt, what would you rate this?
Good. Just good. This was really good. This was really, really good. It took some twists and turns I didn't see coming. When Mom died, I guess I could say a visceral movie. Made you really, really feel. There's a Bygone Jim moment. I give this movie a solid 8. I don't know if I'd ever rewatch it, to be honest. I feel like this is a movie that, yes, you could rewatch and get new points and all that, but I really feel like I got the gist of it. But I liked it a lot. I like it a lot.
I think this is one of the highest rated movies that are outside of a series that we've done. We're all in the 8s. Nobody's below an 8, right? Oh, 7.5.
Jenna.
Good job, Jenna.
I would definitely watch this movie again, for sure, for me. That's it. The next My Friend Watches will be starting a new series. We're going to try and interlace a new series with some more one-offs in between. Yep. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like.
Knives Out, man.
Out a lot. Comment down below letting us know what you think. If you've seen the movie, if you haven't, I would recommend doing so. Subscribe if you want to see more fun content like this.
Yeah,
Consider joining my Patreon. It's a great way to get early access to select videos like this as well. Make sure to check out everybody's channel here. Their links will be in the description below. As always, we appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care.
You gonna put Jenna in the description below?
Nope.
Okay. All right, mofos. I love it. I wonder what the new series is going to be. Let's see. I just saw your comment, Andy. Titty Matt? That's funny. Right. I absolutely love this. I'm so glad they finally watched this film. What you think, Charla? It was good, right? Like they had really, really awesome points. I thought so too. I knew they'd like it. I knew they would, and he knew too. But yeah, I'm so glad they covered it. They brought up a lot of good points in perspective from this film. Pastor made up hit a really good point with the uniform, and Holden did a really good connection in terms of, you know, Jesus and the washing of the feet. That's something I didn't personally put together, but because there are some religious tones within the film and stuff that they talk about, I'm not surprised if, you know, Taika went that route for that, and that's an amazing connection from Holden and Pastor both. It makes me happy that this is one of the highest rated. I started noticing that too, and everyone was going above 8. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's kind of new. But this is one of the more universally accepted amongst the group of the films that they have. Matt's reaction. There were times I thought I'd get a bigger, you know, reaction from him in terms of like the emotional front, but like I said, the ones, you know, when it did happen, it was something off camera, like particular scenes, like with the confrontation with the knife, and with the mom playing the dad scene. Those are scenes also I was looking forward to kind of looking directly at him to see how he would react to those, because I know we have a lot of, is it empathetic? We're empaths. We feel feelings. We can kind of clock and feel each other's. I know what beats. I can kind of tell off a movie what beats that would affect him, and what wouldn't. And those were the scenes I was kind of looking out for, and expecting. So yeah, and they kind of ended up being the point, which is good and amazing. Jeremy already saw it, but he has some good points as well, especially at the end when he brought up wrestling gods. I mean, we were chosen by God, which is a very strong, important moment in the film and line of the film. General overall, great job from everybody from this video. Like I said, this is one of my all-time favorites. It's literally it's top 5 for me and all-time favorite movies for me. I love the message. I love the performance. I love the execution. It is, you grow to love these characters so much, and you're so invested, and they take such a serious subject matter, and they don't make light of it because they hit you in the points that they need to, and they don't shy away from, you know, the reality of what happened back then. Of course, they try to sugarcoat it with humor, but when it's time to get serious, they hit the nail right on his head. I don't agree with Jeremy in the sense of the humor kind of overpowering or bleeding into the serious moments at some point. I thought that was all brilliantly handled, and there was time to process that. At least like the real heavy moments. There was some that kind of bled into it that were kind of minute, that had the tension, but wasn't as heavy. Like you didn't get that with the mom and dad scene. You didn't get that with, you know, the confrontation scene. You didn't get that from the mom death scene. But like when the Nazis stormed the house, you had the tension, but it was blended with the humor to kind of alleviate. But the moments that you really need to lock in, they locked you in and they held you. And I really love that they did that. There was a perfect balance and blend with Taika between both, you know, subjects and feel, which I absolutely loved. Jojo was amazing. His Golden Globe nomination was highly warranted. I was rooting for him. I forgot who won that year, but he should have won that to me. Taika winning the Oscar for this, I was so happy. When I was watching the Oscars, I was jumping up and down. I was yelling. I was so happy he won that. So deserved. Taika is one of my favorite creators and directors working today. And he'll definitely go down as one of my all-time favorites. Right now, of course, number 1 spot is still Nolan. That has been for years. But it's, like I said, it's Nolan, it's Villeneuve, it's Johnson, like Ryan Johnson, Taika, Aronofsky, even though he hasn't made a movie in a while. But those are my top 4 right now. Is Nolan, Villeneuve, Johnson, Taika. Those are my top 4 right now. If I had to round out a top 5 to pick up for a director, I'd have to really think about that. no directors really like kind of impacted outside of the Russos. But right now they're kind of been through like a through line, so I need more from them outside of the Marvel series to really hammer them in. But if I had to put them in to choose the directors, they would round out my top 5. Just because what they accomplished for the Avengers and the MCU, which is brilliant and historic. So they would definitely round out my top 5. So yeah, there you guys have it. That was my reaction to My Friend Watches Jojo Rabbit. Guys, I strongly implore you, I strongly encourage you, I strongly advise that you go subscribe to Matt Lane Fitness and Holden Hardman. Their channel, they both give amazing content, weekly, daily. I wonder, be on the lookout for Saturday. I think they're still going to be dropping a video on Saturday. Maybe. That's usually when the My Friend Watches drops. But because I did it today, I don't know if they're going to do it Saturday. But be on the lookout. Subscribe to the channel and you'll find out. Be sure to check out Matt Lane Fitness's channel today as well, because he dropped a behind the scenes of this video. So you guys can go check that out as well after you watch the main video on Holden's. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it, guys. Like I said, this week we have a lot going on. Well, starting next week, we're starting to implement and roll out my schedule for the channel. So as you guys know, like we said, Monday and Wednesdays we have Night Watch, where I watch TV reactions. Thursday we have Night Plays, where that's just gaming. Friday we have Film Cave Live. Saturday we have Crime Fighter Appreciation, and whatever in between I want to happen, you know, in the days prior or the empty days, you know, I'll just throw out. And regular based reactions will happen accordingly based on the drop themselves. So we'll see what happens a little bit. But that being said, thank you guys for joining me in this latest installment. Join me on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Like, comment, and share. Subscribe if you haven't already, because subscribing would make me oh so happy. As well as hitting those thumbs up, which really help the channel. Hit the notification bell to be reminded whenever we make a video. What? Yeah, I'm telling them that now. Like, don't rush. Give them time. They'll subscribe. We got it. Follow my social media posted in the description box below. Crime Fighters. It's been real. It's been John. That's Chala Bear. And as always, we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Love y'all.